Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP. Joining me tonight is my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford. Well, Ryan, it is another pre-season game, mate. It's safe to say now that pre-season is certainly well underway. As much as we could probably say, early days, mate. Obviously, the team hasn't been back to full tilt. You know, other kind of big-name players haven't really stepped foot in the place apart from Callum McGregor and Arnie Engels. And I think that's only because, Ryan, those boys have been in from day one back at pre-season with the kind of younger generation. However, it is another pre-season win for us, and obviously soaking up some of our roots, mate, over in Ireland. But hope you're well, wee man. It was good to get a wee chat with the boys last night. I know you weren't on, you were on the day job, but it's good to be back on tonight with you.
It's always good to be back on with yourself, mate. Like you say, the guys, yourself, me, I was going to say Alan, Daniel and Sean, good chat all night. Good topics and debates as we always, when there's 3 or 4 days on, we don't all agree, mate, so it's always good to see different opinions. Yeah. And I'm guessing we're ready for the chat. We've just started, we've seen different opinions. There'll be different opinions between me and you, probably, and other guys in the chat tonight, and obviously people watching. So that's why we love Celtic, mate, as well. It divides opinion. So, but like you say, mate, be good to see KT in that training the other day. All right, Billy, how you doing, mate? How you doing, Billy? Nice to see you against a wee view, mate. Hope you enjoyed the game, Billy. That suits you, mate, Billy. That suits your team, doesn't it? Billy boys and that, doesn't it? So, aye, cheers, mate. Give us a wee like, subscribe. But until
cheers for you, Billy.
But until Billy interrupted me there, no, it was good, mate. Really enjoyed seeing it again. Obviously, the game as
I haven't even called that an interruption, Ryan. To be honest with you, I don't even call that an interruption. I just call that a mid-term slabber.
But no, obviously it was good to get.
Billy was on route for his kitchen into the toilet there and fell and decided to text her.
Obviously it's good to get Celtic back. Obviously the parts of the game, it wasn't good and stuff overall, but it's good to get Celtic back, mate. Like you say, pre-season, loads of obviously links, transfer movement hopefully in the next few days and whatever else. So let's see where the chat takes us tonight. Some of the comments are all, some it's negative, some it's positive, so let's have a wee roll with it, mate, and I hope you're well as well.
Hi, I'm good, mate. As I say, Celtic's back and it's good to get Celtic back, obviously. Yeah, it's obviously, this is the thing as well, Ryan, isn't it? When you're that used to your team playing and going to matches and going to see the team play, and then you have a couple of weeks off, it's like you as an individual, you don't really know what to do. It's like you kind of, I know we've all got our families, our lives, our jobs and everything else that we, that we do, but you've not got your fix. That fix isn't there, and obviously, I think that's why we're all kind of, buzzing to be back in amongst it and seeing Celtic again. Obviously, tonight's game, mate, a bit of a game of 2 halves. Obviously, the first half we see guys like Arnie Engels, Sinisalo, Callum McGregor, James Forrest. It was good to see Jamesy playing as well. Obviously, we've one of the new lads came in and played tonight, but we'll touch on him as we go. Austin Trusty is at the back here with young Dane Murray. What was your thoughts on the first half and the kind of way the team is set up? Because our good man, I'm going to bring us to this. Barry McCandless, who is a contributor to the channel, he says, "Evening lads, great to have Celtic back. I believe this season will be Brendan Rodgers' statement campaign in his second spell. Very excited. Hail, hail." I tend to agree with Barry. I think Barry called it on this channel. I was on holiday at the time. And Barry says that Brendan's going to change his system. Now, tonight, Ryan, we set up a 4-2-3-1. There's no coincidence. In a private chat with me and you, I'd said the exact same thing to you. So, were you a bit taken back for that? And what was your thoughts on the first half?
No taken aback by it, mate, because me and Barry obviously were on the pod when we spoke about it, and I do agree that I think you're going to implement it. You'll need to try and implement it, because I do think that's where Nigrin will play. And if that's where he's going to go and Nigrin's a man for him, then you're going to need to get the players used to playing that system as well. And it might only take a few weeks, but they'll need to get used to it, because they're used to playing with the three up front and three in the middle, and obviously the two inverted full-back. So it's a wee small change, but like I've always says, mate, if they're good enough, the players, then they'll adapt it like duck with water. That's why they're paid the money they're getting. That's why they're at Celtic.
Yeah.
A few weeks and they should be adapting to that. So you'll probably hopefully see Negan at the weekend, hopefully, and further forward, and other guys like KT as well. So first half was better than the second half. We'll touch on the second half as we go, but first half was okay. I thought it was like a training exercise, JP. But what's concerning me is that Trusty looked a well out of sorts. I thought Dane Murray, I know you had different opinions with me in this, but I thought Dane Murray was pretty slow at his passing out for the back as well. And again, it's pre-season, Sticky Park, people are rusty, so you can't judge too much. But the offence to Cork City, but they could be one of the worst teams we've played for the rest of the season. They're not doing well in the league, they're fully fit as well. Let's be fair, they weren't great. But it is pre-season, so you can only judge them what's in front of you and how long the guys have been training. But Trusty looked like he's carried his form on for last season. It was out of the camp. Amura done okay, and he actually had to cover him once or twice with his pace. So for me, that's concerning.
I'm going to need to educate you in your pronunciations on players, wee man, I'm telling you.
No, he was Barry. Like I says, we'll touch on Amura, but I thought Amura was okay. JP, I'm not going to get tissues out and cream at him just yet, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's only a first game.
No.
So
I'm talking about your pronunciation as in his name.
Amura.
You're calling him Amura. His name's Amura.
Well, I'm going to call him Amura, mate. That's what I'm on, mate. I'll do what I want. No, I'll just say the wee Japanese guy at left back, right, until we get it right.
Was that playing?
No, he's I don't know what he was doing actually, to be fair. No, but I thought that's probably the only thing I was a wee bit concerned about the first half was Trusty was no great. But again, I can't sit here and be too critical, JP. It's only pre-season, and it's going to take some of these guys maybe a game or two to get back into the swing of things. Listen, we were already saying it pre-season, it takes you a few games and a good few training sessions to get fully sharp. That's what these games are for. They're training exercises. They're no going out full pelt. We will touch on obviously points as we go along, but some of the things I've seen in social media, man, listen, we can all be negative and we can all be critical of certain things, but being really critical to a performance in pre-season for me it's crazy. But first half, mate, was okay. Some of the football was all right. I thought Ben Summers looked okay as well. Some nice touches. Some good link-up play. First half was decent, mate, but second half, I would say we can touch on that, but I think I would say the opposite about the second half.
Yeah. First half for me, like he says, I think you pointed out really well there in terms of Ben Summers. For me, I thought he was a standout. I said to you, Ryan, even when I seen him the other night playing against Queen's Park, for me, players like that, mate, you know, they stick out like sore thumb. They just shine. And for me, the lad looked really busy again tonight. Like he says, really nice one too. I thought he linked really well with Anamura first half. There's some really intricate passing between the two of them. It was a nice wee it was like a reverse dragon kick sort of thing for Inamura, but he back heels it to Ben Summers. I thought that was lovely to watch. There was a couple of nice passes in and around the box with the boy Summers as well. Looking for Callum McGregor, looking for Arnie Engels. I think he was one to Luke McCown, where he tried to actually feed it into, through into the final third through the line. So yeah, I was really impressed with Ben Summers. I thought James Forrest also stood out, coming out inside on that right hand side. Again, looking to get his fitness up, but good workout for James. You mentioned about the two boys at the back. For me, I thought the one that looked a bit more, I don't know whether it was nerves, mate, or like you says, it's early doors. It's hard to kind of really put your finger on what's happening here because it's early doors. But I think you mentioned about Big Trusty, and for me, Ryan, see if you're struggling, mate, to do the basics in games like that, see games of 5-a-sides and stuff, mate, you should be able to still do the basics well enough. You should still be able to just, get by with doing that. But if you're playing in a game over in Ireland, in front of a good support, you should be able to go out and do the bait. And there was a couple of times tonight where Big Austin Trusty just looked as if he was on another planet. To me, he just kind of looked as if he was, maybe his mind was somewhere. I know he's just became a dad and stuff like that, so it could be, listen, maybe his mind's on his kid or whatever. You just don't know. But like I says, it's early days. For me, Dane Murray was okay. I know you're saying the two of them looked really, really slow. I thought Dane Murray's passing in the first half was quite crisp, especially out to the boy Kobe Donovan. He impressed me as well, Ryan. He's got good energy, he's got good legs, he looks physical, he looks as if he can win a ball in the air. That was a couple tonight, he won again against Queen's Park. So for me, I like to look at that boy Donovan. I don't know what obviously the plan's going to be in terms of, is he going to move out and loan again? Is he going to get kept? But Inamura, listen, Brendan spoke before the game tonight. I know you said before, Ryan, that you hadn't seen that. My understanding is that Inamura was a good bit halfway through his Japanese season.
He was fit.
For me, yeah, so for me, in terms of his fitness level, he looked as if he was ahead of the rest of the team, if that makes sense, because he, just where he was. I loved his football. He looks a very intelligent player. It's going to be interesting, right, to see what happens with him over the next couple of weeks. I know Rodgers was saying we'll have a look at him. We don't know where he's at, and tonight he played in a different position. So previously he's been a left centre back, but tonight he played left wing back. By the way, he was up and down that park. So the boy's certainly got a good set of legs on him as well. But he's got an intelligent brain, and you can tell that, Ryan, because right away, mate, he looks to play forward. And nothing's daft with him, mate. See, if it's no on, he'll go and be safe, and he'll go back to your goalkeeper, or he'll go back into the left centre-back if he's out there. But he's coming into that half position, he's looking for the ball. I thought that was really good. We're talking about a guy, mate, this is his first game for the team. So he's not even probably new. He probably doesn't even know everybody yet. So, and he's crossing, he's couple of crosses into the box, mate. I mean, Johnny Kenny's unlucky really not to be on in the end, at least one of them. So he could have had 2 assists in it as well. I know he had a bit of a half chance himself to shoot, but for me, he's shooting through an array of bodies. So it would have been difficult to get that onto target, but I don't know if, again, Ryan, it's one of those ones, is Inamura going to be a KT backup, or is he, because I understand we are still looking for a left back as well, so I think it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with him. But early signs tonight, mate, and I know, listen, people are going to say, JP, look at the opposition we're up against, fine. But you can only go and do the simple things when it's required, and I thought he did that very well tonight, Ryan.
Aye, like I says, I've said a few people, I've said to yourself and other people, I'm never going to praise a Celtic player for doing the basics, mate, because they should be doing the basics. That's why they're at Celtic, because they do the basics very well. Myself, when I played football, I played amateur or whatever because I'd done the basics okay, but I didn't do them that well all the time. That's why I was at the level I was at. They guys, listen, that's why you play that level, because you keep the ball simple, 1-2 touches. See, now I've stopped playing football. When you look at it now, football it is really simple. when you do the simple things like some of them done tonight, that's
Yeah.
that's how football is played. Football is a simple game. If you do it properly at that level, you should be
Yeah.
winning games. That's why Celtic win the league more than others, because they do the simple things good and they do the better things even better. So Inamura, there we go, got it. Inamura. For me, he done what was asked of him. Like it says, we can
Put it
only
this
judge him
way,
what
I
he.
know he tunes into Celtic podcast. He'll be proud of you for that one, by the way.
That's probably the first one I'm like right all season.
Apparently, by the way, he was watching us on his way out on the plane, apparently, to do his medical, so I've had it in good authority.
If he did, I think if he watched Celtic Twitter, mate, a podcast, he'd probably turn back in the plane. So,
Oh, no. No.
I think he might have told the Ryanair pilot to turn back. So,
Aye.
but no, listen, he done what was asked of him. He done what he should be doing, in my opinion. Again, the opposition for me does count a wee tad, because we don't know how good he is just yet, and we don't know how good some of the guys are. Even some of the youth players, we don't see him enough, so we can only go on what he done, and he can be happy with his first minutes of Celtic jersey. You can tell he is good in the ball. So what we've seen on the videos, you can see that's the truth. You can see he's good in the ball, but that I know I've had a few conversations with other people, and he's every game you're under pressure at Celtic. I get that, right, but in terms of the magnitude of the game, the opposition strength and everything else, the magnitude of the game, he's under no pressure. If he makes a mistake, he makes a mistake. That's what the games are all about. He's not going to get shirked off the manager for making one simple mistake, right? When he plays against Newcastle or Ajax and it comes to the league, then we'll judge him how it is under pressure. Points on the board, you've got to defend properly. Like I say to you, if a guy can pass a ball and ping balls and score, cross, brilliant. It helps attacking players, but I want to see him defending first. So hopefully he plays at the weekend or against Newcastle, and maybe he is put under pressure. Then if he does, well, I'll go, listen here, he's looking good here. But until then, I can't judge him. I can only judge him tonight. Done well what was asked of him. Like you say, fitness wise, that'll help him, because he has obviously played a lot more than some of the guys at this time of the season. But I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to get the tissues out, mate, and start going, here we go, we've got a player just yet, because I can't judge anybody in one game. I can remember I'd done it with Kwon. I said Kwon was going to be, I think, the young player of the year, and then after 2 games he'd binned because he had a good half against Wolves. So I'm not going to sit and say that again. So I'm not going to get him into pre-season games thinking somebody's good. But you're right, you can see basis of somebody, he might not be a superstar that Brendan might think, or the club might think, or whoever, but he might just be a decent backup squad player who's going to come and contribute. And see if that's the case and he backs up KT, then I'm fine with that. As long as he's able to defend to a decent level and he can do the simple things.
He looks as if he's got a bit of speed on him, I know, Ryan. He looks as if he can shift. He's got legs. That's
all I asked for. See me, JP, he's a football player.
Know what we're talking about the aggression, as in, I know he gave away a couple of fouls higher up in the field, but Ryan, I don't mind that. He's shown that aggression, he's getting tighter to people, he's getting I don't mind that at all.
All I ask for a football player, JP, is obviously effort and desire and everything else, but see, as long as you're trying to do the simple things, you're putting in all the effort, you're chasing back and everything else, and you're defending decent, right? I'm happy with that, but it's when some things, see, we'll talk about it in the second half. It's all right for us making mistakes, JP, at amateur level or junior level, whatever, right? But see, at that level, and you're making simple mistakes like Trusty was kicking the ball at the park, that's no good. Mate, pre-season, I know that's, if you can't pass it, listen, we all had the odd pass out of the park, but seeing it's competitive, like Scales done a few times last year, Trusty's done it a few times, Taylor done it a few times last year as well. Players all day at the odd time, but see when it's consistent and under no pressure, that's what concerns me. It doesn't matter if you're a youth player or you're an experienced campaigner. If you're hitting the ball at the park all the time, that's worrying. But on Inamura, mate, on his debut, he can give himself a pat on the back. He done well. Like I said, I'm not going to get tissues out just yet, but if he keeps performing and keeps progressing, and then we'll just see how he is. And listen, it could turn out to be an absolute bargain, or like I say, after
250 grand bargain, man. The boy's going to end up built.
Or like I say, mate, after
like
3 games.
In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be going like that. Get in my cupboard, I'll Liam.
That's what I'm saying. It could be another bar cast against West Ham, against Newcastle, and he gets rinsed. And that's him. So, like I say, we just play it by year. But like you say, we can only judge him on a performance. the opposition, I take the opposition to a degree a tiny bit. Some fans might know, but in terms of his first game at Celtic, mate, he did look actually better than some of the players that were there. But overall, mate, he can be happy with his performance, and hopefully he can progress, and let's see how he goes.
Yeah, a wee comment there for an old school pal of mine, Tomahawk, his name is on the YouTube, but his real name's Thomas. He's rolling back the years there with that one, my old school nickname in Monty. He says that's some sunburn, mate. Maybe because your walls are so white. No, it's probably got something to do with the 11 days I spent in Mallorca just 2 weeks ago, mate. So it's probably something to do with that. But aye, cheers for noticing. But I have said before, if anybody's watched it, the light that I sit under in here is probably not the best. It can do mental things. There's a good man there, Mr. Scotto. He's back up in the Maryhill Wingford tonight. He's even now into pre-season.
Subway sandwich engineers.
Subway sandwich engineers. The technical approach for chicken teriyaki.
The sandwich artist, you call him, Alan. They've got a name now. You're the guys that make your sandwiches for the morning, Alan.
Aye, 100%. You behave yourself, Alan. See when you're out of puff, man, he give you bottles of water and everything in there when you're up that Wingford. So you calm down. But like you say, Ryan, I mean, these games are all about getting your fitness. I mean, there's no really much, in my opinion, you can really read into these games. But I know what you're saying in terms of doing the basics well and, you know, certain players, certain individuals, and doing that really well, then it's no nice when you see mistakes happening. And again, Ryan, it's all about getting your fix, mate. This is it. I know we just want to see Celtic back and playing and doing this. And when you see players making mistakes, right away, he's not good enough. Get him off. Aye, get him off. He's not good enough.
It started already, man.
I know. You're fun out with your family, man. The game's just about 10 minutes in, man. They're only playing Cork.
He's done it again. It again.
Look at him. Get him out, Sean.
Get him out. Pump this egg.
Aye, 100%. But it's one of the ones. It's, as I said, you're looking for your fix, so you need to. I think the key word there is, Ryan, is patience. I think people need to be patient. Like I says, our main first team guys haven't really been in the team. So we're still to see guys like Maeda. The Celtic team in 2 weeks' time, take my word for it, anybody that's watching us and listening in, will look completely night and day to what you saw tonight. Why? Because half of the young lads won't be there, or the vast majority of them won't be there. Especially the lads for the second half. They won't be there. But obviously looking at the contrast of the two halves, Ryan, there was a couple of chances created in the first half, a couple of half chances here and there, but then we move into the second half. And obviously the team changes completely altogether. I know me and you had a laugh before we came on, and there's been some comments in the comments tonight about it being a bore fest and all that kind of neck of the woods. But what was your overall take in the second half, really?
Well, I've always says, mate, when you play the game yourself, anybody who's ever played football, the first 2 or 3 pre-season games, the first half, maybe they might play the main team or whatever else. Second half, you make changes. Sometimes you win 4-0, and then you might get beat 6-4. That's just what happened because the team's all over the place, formation changes, etc. But I never really like to say this, mate, but the second half was a blowfest. If that wasn't Celtic, mate, I wouldn't have watched it. If that wasn't my team, I wouldn't have watched it because it was pretty boring. And I don't like saying that, but on here, you need to be honest. You can't hide behind what you're feeling. It wasn't great. It was good to see somebody like Osmond. I thought Osmond looked quite unselfish. I think the only thing I'll give him, again, he'll never listen to me. I'm not a guy to give anybody tips to a young guy to play with Celtic, but the only advice I would maybe give a fan is when you get to eventually, you need to be unselfish. If you want to score goals as a striker, he'll know it. Listen, he scored goals for Fulham's B team, so he knows how to score goals, but you need to be selfish when it comes to scoring goals. To my opinion, as a striker, you need to be.
What did you think of him, Ryan Osmond? He looks really sharp.
He was alright. He looks alright for a young player, mate. He does look okay, considering he's not really got first team experience. I do think he'll come on. Listen, he'll come on for that as well. Making his debut for Celtic, playing with some of the experienced boys as well. So, listen, he'll come on for that as well. But again, he'll not take advice from me. I'm not giving him advice and tell him to sit down and listen to me. But just for myself, playing football as a striker, you need to be selfish, mate. If you're not going to be selfish, you'll not score goals and you'll not get the limelight and you'll not be judged as a striker if you're not going to be selfish. Unselfish, be a teammate, yes, when need be. But going forward, you need to be selfish. So, but I thought the second half, mate.
Going with you, man. The way you talking about you used to play, I think I'd ended up because
I was selfish, mate. You've got as a striker, mate. You've got to be selfish to score goals. Right. You've got to be selfish. If your team makes a better opportunity, then you should play the ball. You need if you don't play the ball, then you should be shite for it.
Don't get me wrong. See if I played the ball to you and you didn't score, I'd probably go mental.
Aye, that's what I mean. I'd be the same. That's if you're through 1-1. I'm always expecting my striker to score goals. Doesn't matter who it is, what level. If you're 1-1, you've got the best shoe to goal. You should, unless the goalie's. In fact, doesn't matter who the goalie is, you can see the full goal. You should be scoring 1-1, in my opinion, at any level. So, no, listen, as a striker, I need to be selfish, JP. Look at Maeda now. He's more selfish. Look at my goals he scored. Hooper was selfish. Edward, Griffiths, all the good goal scorers are selfish. And that's why they score all the goals. Look, Big Haaland. Harley passes a ball, he always scores goals. So, if Osman can do that, mate, then who knows where it'll take him. But it's concerning for me, mate, that I think some of the youth players are miles off it. Absolute miles off it. We can see why some of them, like me and you spoke about, why some of them aren't meant grade. It's not the fact that they've no go ability or they've no go. It's the simple things. That's what I'm saying. It's simple things. See if you can't pass the ball 5 yards, if you can't do the simple movements and simple passes. Listen, I know the guys are playing better than me, right? And a lot younger than me.
I know, listen, before MD starts, right, we're not having a go at anybody individually.
No, I'm just saying as a collective.
I'm usually an advocate for, I mean, it is early doors, so I'm not going to sit here and criticise people, but
no, it's still criticism.
These are the things managers and coaches are looking for.
Aye. It's a simple thing,
managers and coaches are looking for.
Like I says, I'll never praise a player for doing the simple things because they should be doing it right. But as a young player, if you're not doing the simple things at Celtic, you're never going to make grade, no matter how good you are. If you can't pass the ball 5 yards, if you can't chase the ball, if you can't do the simple things, link up play and positional sense, for me, mate, the second half was passes were over the plate, and this is why I'm saying one or two of the boys in the first half who were young done decent. Like Summers done the. Drew Bowen against Queen's Park, done the simple things. Donovan, simple things. That's what I'm saying. But they're doing the simple things. They're not trying to impress. They're just doing the simple things. The boys in the second half, just for me, they just didn't do enough to say that I'm one of the up-and-coming youth players. But again, can't be too critical because it is early days and they might shine as the season goes on. But like me and you spoke about last week, getting our 10 days to 2 weeks, most of these youth players will not be here. They'll be back in the B team or they'll be away on loan because Celtic will need to start preparing. It's only 3.5 weeks now, roughly, to the first league game. So maybe after the Newcastle game, maybe after Portugal on the weekend, down to Como, I think you'll start seeing the, if you call it, experience.
Como's after the Newcastle game.
I think so. After Newcastle and into that, I think that's when you'll see the team starting to, the full bifters, experienced players, the guys that he wants to play every week to get their fitness, their sharpness, blah, 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 all the rest that we all know. So, but no, second half for me was no great, but it is pre-season, it is a training exercise, so hopefully the young guys can get some experience for that and then they can hopefully push on. But I think
Ryan,
for
this
me...
is the thing as well, and this is something I wanted to put to you here. You're saying about the second half not looking great. I think it's down to coach. I think it's down to the don't forget, mate, that's a new system that's been implemented to them tonight because they're used to playing 4-3-3. So some of them are, tonight's a 4-2-3-1 in both halves. It's obvious. I mean, it's straight there.
I
can see that
I get what you're saying, right? But formation and system change doesn't stop you passing the ball 5 yards, mate.
Well, there's my grab there. The youth players should have been coached by their manager. They're playing different systems to what the first team play.
I get what you're saying, Rob, that this is obviously just changed tonight, but that is true. I get what you're saying, Rob. It should be all the same. I think it is all the same, by the way. Just tonight, obviously, it's changed. But no matter how fit you are, the systems, formations, coaching, if you can't pass a ball 5 yards, you're never going to make a grade. If you can't do the simple things, doesn't matter what formation you play.
It doesn't matter where you are.
It doesn't matter.
You're right, Ryan. It doesn't
If
matter
you can't,
where you
if
are.
you can't make a simple pass,
you should be able to pass a ball 5
aye,
yards.
if you don't know your positional sense, where you should be, how to cross the ball, then you'll never make it Celtic. You'll never make it anywhere if you can't do the simple things. It's why I didn't make it. It's why a lot of guys like me didn't make it, because we didn't do the simple things good enough. We didn't do it often enough, and that's why we didn't get to the level that they guys are at, like your McGregors and your Engels and your Kieran Tierney's. That's why we didn't get to that grade, because we didn't do the right things. They do. That's why they're at that level, and the youth players should be looking at that. Look at what me and you mentioned. I'll let you back in, because I know I spoke about here. Me and you spoke about McGregor and Engels in the Queen's Park game. In the first 5 minutes, I messaged you, I messaged my dad, exact same thing. Look at McGregor and Engels, stood out like a sore thumb, doing the simple things. 5-yard passes, run, jog. 5-yard passes, simple things. But that's because they're the first team experienced players. And you look at some of the youth players, and the ball's out the park. And I know they're young players, but if you can't do the simple things, no matter how good you are, you're never going to make it Celtic, mate.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Just touching on, obviously, you're talking about guys that stand out there, right? So I've seen even on social media tonight that Engels is taking a bit of a battering again. People saying that he, all of a sudden he should look like a Rolls Royce, and a guy commented saying he looked more like a Morris Minor. That's an old car, Ryan, a very, very old car. Definitely a way before your day, mate. 100%. Maybe your dad will remember what they are, but I don't know if anybody paid attention. I mean, these people that are, being overcritical of Ernie Engels, in my opinion, like I say, it's a pre-season game as well. So, I mean, I don't know what folk are looking for, in all honesty, apart from people looking as if they're sharp and fit. Did anybody see his wee kind of back heel flick to McCown for a goal? Like, that comes as a bit of class, Ryan. If that's against Hibs at Easter Road, mate, what a goal that's getting talked about. Oh, yeah, social media. Oh, yeah, Clyde Wan. Just in that moment, mate, go back and look at that goal. It's the way he does it. He moves his body and he just pings it into McCown, and McCown just, boom, right into the top corner. That's a great finish, mate. Regardless of whether you're in pre-season or you're in the Champions League, mate, that's a top finish. And the build-up play to that, Engels actually starts that move deeper in the pitch, if you go back to it. And what I spoke about last night with the boys that were on with me is his legs and running power that takes him into these positions, Ryan, to get him in to these positions in order to create these kind of chances. His numbers don't lie. We're not all just sitting here fabricating this and talking complete and utter nonsense. I don't get his criticism either. But obviously it's definitely there. He has one, I mentioned it last night, Ryan, he does split opinions. I think he's a class act. I actually do think this will be Arnie Engels' his last season with Celtic. I think he'll have that good a season, Ryan, that he'll come next summer maybe, or maybe even January, mate. We're probably going to... I mean, we're already hearing small murmurs of teams like Atalanta looking at him, and, other teams wanting his services, and that's no for no reason, mate. So if teams like that are sniffing about you, you're doing your craft and your job really, really well. But touching on that first goal, mate, to me, that first goal was tremendous.
That was a very good goal, mate. I thought, like you mentioned, James Forrest, I thought he played well. Looks pretty fit. Unfortunately for James, this happens to him. He looks very fit and he gets injured, and then it's back end of the season and he's fit again. He's brilliant. That's just James Forrest, unfortunately. That's just the way the last few years have been due to injury, which is unfortunate.
Well, let's see how that one goes. Hopefully he doesn't get an injury.
In terms of Engels, like I says, mate, it's all about opinions. But sometimes I see things, I'm like, right, it's your opinion, but I don't know where you're getting it from. Like you said, it's training exercises, mate. I don't know what people are expecting Engels to do, and I thought he should do it. I saw film against Queen's Park personally.
Yeah.
He done the simple things. He was sharp. Him and McGregor were really good, and people are going to go, that's where he should be. You're right, but he does the simple things. And I thought tonight could be flick, good awareness. In my opinion, nobody was like, wow, what a play today. Nobody for me stood out like an absolute slow thumb that, wow, he's 10 million, he's 2 million, he's a. It was just a decent performance in terms of fitness wise for him and the kick on. Right, we can criticise passing and defending here if we trust him, but as a collective, it was a good exercise for the team. It's all about fitness for the first few games of the pre-season, especially, and then move on. But I really don't get the hate with Engels, and it's starting to bother me. It's starting to annoy me and frustrate the living daylights out of me because I'm like, I know it's a bit.
I feel we done it.
Aye, no, listen, I get it. Listen, but I say me, I don't rate either in terms of his all-round play, but I can't criticise his goals because goal scoring is, for me, is the hardest position in the park. Other people might say, goalkeepers might say differently, midfielders might say differently, but goal scorers are worth a weight in goals. So if he does score 20 goals again next year, even if his gameplay isn't great, I still need to say he's done well, because if he scores 40 goals in 2 years at Celtic, no matter what I think about his gameplay, that's good going, mate. Listen, don't get me wrong, he probably should be scoring that because of the chances we're going to get. But if you're not starting to wait and score 20 goals, listen, you're doing well. It's up to score goals. So, but no, on Engels, mate, I'll let you back in on that, mate. But maybe is it because I want to see him do well that maybe I think people have been too critical. But like you say, JP, for a guy who came in only playing one game a week, not even playing every single week with Elfsberg, by the way, he's not a goal scoring midfielder in Germany. He's came to Celtic, I think he's got 10 or 12 goals. Same with a bit of assists, a few man of matches. He's won a double. He consistently played in the team. I think he missed maybe a few weeks here and there because maybe his performances didn't play well. But again, first 2 pre-season games he's playing again, probably getting fit for the playoff game. The manager likes him. Like he says, at Atalanta potentially would interest him. So what's the big thing about him not being a good player? See, as much as I might not like Scales or Taylor or whoever it is, see if the manager keeps playing them, then he must like him and he must be decent. The manager plays him. No matter what I might give my opinion as a fan, but the manager keeps playing them and he keeps playing Engels. No, because he's got to play him. He can play Bernardo, he can play McKibben, he can play Atati, somebody, he can play anybody. He doesn't need to play Engels, but he keeps playing him. And I'm like you, I believe this guy's going to be fantastic. And if he's no, I will shut down my words and go, listen, made a mistake. I'm sorry. I've done it before. I'll say it again. But I think he'll have a good season and I think he'll be a mainstay in this Celtic team.
Yeah. Obviously, just as you were chatting there, Ryan, there's a bit of breaking news coming in. It's a confirmed transfer. So Braga have signed Lager Bielka on a deal worth around £2 million. The Sweden international has penned a 5-year deal with Braga. I think Big Alan put it in the chat as well that Celtic have got a 10% sell-on clause on the deal as well. So Anthony Joseph has confirmed this on the X as part of social media. So a good friend of the channel, obviously. He's been on a couple of times with a chat with his mate. So, what's your thoughts on Lager Bielka now moving away permanently?
I think it was going to happen, wasn't it? Like I says to you, I did say to you and Alan in the chat that it's a wee tiny bit concerning that he lets go Reto and he still continue to play Trusty and Scale. So part of me is a bit like, I don't get it. But again, I'm not a manager. I'm not there behind the scenes. I've been hearing, again, it's no through information, just through the grapevine, the reason Orski's away is because he can't keep fit. So because he's a bad player, he just can't keep fit. Apparently that's the reason why he's not been able to play.
I mentioned that last
apparently he can't keep fit. If anybody who's in the know can tell me I'm wrong or whatever is wrong, tell me, or it is, maybe he's just not good enough. But apparently he can't keep fit, and then he can't get to the level that obviously maybe can get to. I think it's strange why they've put on a 10% sell-on fee. They obviously rate him in some capacity then if they think he's going to go for money. That's what I see. But that's why I see. Aye, but if you didn't think that player's potentially going to have a good season or maybe do well, you wouldn't add a sell-on clause. That's just my thinking. If I didn't think somebody's got to go and play well, I wouldn't really think about a clause. Because I don't think I'm maybe not going to play at Braga, but I think Braga's a decent team in Portugal. They do okay. They're in Europe sometimes, so good luck to him. Listen, I don't think he was a bad player. I don't know if it's because Rodgers didn't sign him or if it's because he didn't do well in training or it is he just didn't fit his system. I don't know why the man's going to play him. That's down to him and down to his coaching staff. But I hope he does really well and I hope he goes and improves Brendan and some Celtic fans wrong or proves that he was right to be here. And just unfortunately, listen, players come and don't do well and then they go elsewhere with maybe less pressure, less demanding to win, and they're brilliant. So good luck to him, JP. Good to get a bit of money. I think we're £2 million down maybe for him. But like I say to you about Kuhn, Agabielka, the Frimpong money, etc. we go, all that's good business if you spend it wisely and you get the quality in. So let's hope we get that done in the next few weeks, mate, and we can get some reinforcements in that area.
Yeah, 100%. We do know, obviously, Celtic are pretty much active looking in that area anyway. So I think there was a comment earlier about Rodgers. Does anybody know if he announced it in post-match? He actually spoke. They asked him before the game. So they said, was there anything concrete? He went, nothing concrete. He says, plenty of things cooking away, or words to that effect. He says, obviously, the recruitment team are working very hard and looking to get players in to get us ready to, start the assault on title defence and obviously coming up to the playoff, etc. I think obviously there'll be a couple of wingers brought in as well. But I'll come to that. Obviously, get Lagerbielke. Like I said it last night. I was chatting with the boys, and I just personally think he just wasn't suited to here. I didn't think he was strong enough, Ryan. If I'm being honest, I thought parts of his game he was too slow. He was nice and tidy on the ball, but I think as a centre back, you need to have a bit of pace, especially to play in the way, Rodgers' system. He likes things done at pace, with aggression, and I just didn't think Lagerbielke had that at all in him. I said last night as well, Ryan, I thought we were very fortunate to have a goal chopped off at Ibrox for the one he kicks Dessers his leg and he goes down. I don't think it's a foul, mate. I think he's not strong enough there. And I said last night, I think if that was me and I done that to Dessers is greeting for his mammy in agony. And he's wanting off. He's not wanting to play against me. I'm making sure if I'm going to kick somebody, you're going to feel it. I'm not just going to tap you, mate, and then fall. So I just didn't think he was strong enough, Ryan, I'm being honest. And I think, like he says as well, I couldn't agree more. I think that's the same with Mike Nawrocki as well. I don't know if he was up to fitness or it's got to be something about that, Ryan, because overall, mate, he looks like a decent player when he played. But you're hearing, we've been told that we've been given information, mate, that his fitness behind the scenes just wasn't constant. It wasn't there all the time, and he kept taking niggles and getting wee bits and bobs. So it's one of those ones, mate. We're never going to know now, but they're better off away because they're not playing.
Aye, see on that as well. We're talking about the simple things. Take away the one thing at Aberdeen. He done everything simple in the Nawrocki. Everything was crisp and sharp, and that's why I'm like we've just mentioned there, Scales has made a few, Trusty made a few major mistakes that caused goals. St Johnstone, Aberdeen, all other things, but yet they make one or two mistakes and they're binned out the team. That's what I don't get. Like, why is it they two kept playing, but they two didn't get a chance? That's again, mate. I'm just asking us to the full. I'm just putting it out there. Why are they two getting binned, but yet Trusty and Scale still stay there when they're getting sometimes kicked off the ball or passing the ball? I don't know. I'm just asking how. Is it maybe because I'm wanting they two to succeed because they were paid the money from and because I like them? I don't know, but I'm trying to look at for my eyes. I didn't think apart from the one, maybe that at Rangers and one at Feyenoord, Lagerbecker done okay when he played, and so did Nowrowski. I don't know.
They just
But
weren't
like says,
suited. Overall, mate, I just don't think they were suited here. I just don't think they were Brendan's type of players. I don't think they had.
And that's fine. That happens.
The hack level. No, 100%. Listen, like I say, recruitment isn't an exact science. It never will be. None of the teams.
It's no way us sometimes.
Right all the time. I mean, Man United. Man United spend hundreds of millions, and some of the guys in there, you know, they're never. You look at Roy Keane talks about them every week, mate. And
look at Arsenal.
They're never Man United class.
£100 million.
That's what I'm saying. However, in Brendan Rodgers' team, Ryan, I do think that these guys just weren't the rare players. Yeah, again, but Sean, that was down to an injury that he picked up as well. And then just due to that injury, somebody else comes in and does well, and then he falls out of favour with the manager a wee bit. So again, these things happen. Football's a very quick turnaround now. That's how I'll never sit on here, mate, and write off anybody. Because I never foresaw, nobody did seen Liam Scales being a near enough mainstay in the Celtic team the last couple of years.
Now I'm making a mark big time.
Well, fair enough, but he's still going to, listen, whether Celtic fans want to hear this or no, by the way, he's still going to be very much in amongst the squad.
But let's be fair, JP.
He's not going to be one of the players that are out the door.
Now, let's be realistic. One reason why he'll still beat Celtic is because nobody else will buy him. Nobody will buy him as well. A good team will buy him as well. It'll be maybe an Aberdeen or a Hibs or a Hearts, but nobody Celtic starts will buy him.
Listen, whether people would want to agree with that one or no, Ryan, I think due to he's now experienced both internationally and in the Champions League. So you're buying a player who, individuals in their support might not rate him, but in terms of the footballing world, mate, he's got a lot of experience now under his belt. So I don't think I'm not saying he's certainly not going to Liverpool or Real Madrid or anywhere like that. I'm not meaning that.
I've not going for a holiday.
Listen, mate, if Mikey Johnson can get picked up and he never done too well with Celtic, and Celtic ended up getting $3 million for him, then Liam Scales could get yourself a decent move somewhere as well. So I'm all for having a laugh and a bit of banter and everything else, but when it comes to reality, people can write the guy off all they want, right? That's fine. And everybody, like you've said before, Ryan, has their opinions and everything else. This is a guy who's played both internationally and in the Champions League. He's got man of the matches in the Champions League. And again, people can go, we wonder, really, well, one of them was against Atalanta. So that's what, unfortunately, that's what recruitment teams look at. They look at what's under his belt. He's also going to have that label of getting beat with Darvel under his belt when he was out at loan at Aberdeen as well. So he has that in his locker. But Liam Scales isn't going to be one of the first names out the door this summer. I can guarantee that right now. Now, whether that means Liam Scales is going to just become a squad player, then that's another thing altogether. My understanding that Celtic are actively in that area, pushing to bring in not one but two centre-backs. So again, it's one of those ones, Ryan, we'll probably need to wait and see, mate. But over the next coming weeks, mate, I would expect to see a different Celtic team, obviously fielding as we go towards the rest of the matches that we've got before the campaign starts, mate.
I actually think we should be looking at two centre-backs, if I'm being honest with you. It's hard to get two, though. It's hard to get one good. Because like I say, for me, Trusty and Scales, for Celtic to move forward, they are squad players. Can we depend on them in Europe again in our year? Personally, I had seen the two of Frailties in the last season. I think if it's the boy from France and the boy from Portugal, if that's your two boys have ironed out and they need to go and get them. And if it means Trusty and Scales need to fight for the fourth choice, then so be it. And if Dane Murray's got to get on loan or he's got to fight, then obviously we can't stockpile centre-backs because that's why Lagerbielke and they're obviously are going. But I do think at least one top centre-back has to be a priority. It's got to be a priority, especially for Europe. Domestically, listen, Trusty and Scales will do you next to Vickers in Europe, and domestically. As much as I might have Frailties next to Vickers, if you're playing next to Vickers, you'll be better because of how good he is. Obviously, if he's fit, that is. But I think a centre back, mate, it's an absolute priority. For me, it's probably the biggest priority for me as a centre back. But yeah, no, I think like you says previously in the pod, mate, that so sorry. And I think in the next 2 weeks or so, you'll see a different Celtic in terms of personnel, guys going on loan, guys getting sold, and guys maybe not really getting a game, been told that they can go. So, we'll see, obviously, get the game at the weekend and then obviously Newcastle. So, I think the hope for the next few days, mate, we can get 1 or 2 in by the end of the week. That'll be good to give us, like you say, a bit of a transfer fix and we can go and do a research about players. But no, listen, like I says, I'm not negative at all about the transfer situation now, mate. We just need to go and add. I think the biggest thing I can say is we go for quality over quantity. I'm no one to just sign 5 players just to appease me or yourself or appease
Well,
the
that's
fans.
what Roger says, wasn't it? That's what Brendan says in one of his interviews there.
I've seen fans talking about them across the water or Aberdeen or Hibs. They're signing players. But who says they're going to be playing for them? Either, listen, turn off, they'll put money in their progress in terms of transfers, but I would rather wait another few days to get 2 quality players instead of signing 4 projects, if you want to call them projects, or squad players who might not play. So get another maybe few days, see what happens, and then we can hopefully continue. But like we've said, JP, we've had more links than a sausage factory the last few days, so there's no smoke foot fire. 1 or 2 of them will happen, so let's just hope for the club can get in the next few days and we can we can get excited about some of the transfers.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we comment there for Josh. He said, JP, apart from Tierney and Negrin, nothing of these signings are exciting me at all, even the ones we're linked with. And I hate to say, but that mob across the city are making moves. No, I'm not entertaining that, Josh. I'm sorry. I'm not even looking at them. I'm not even looking at them, mate. I'm excited to see what's coming for us. I'm not even giving them a thought. It doesn't even cross my mind, mate. It really doesn't. Put it this way: if they weren't to make moves by now, I would severely be getting worried.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate
because they need an overhaul. Thank you very much for the comment on the Celts. Like I say, we're at mob across the water. The only thing I'm going to say about them is they needed surgery. More than one way, by the way, not just with a team. They also need mental surgery due to the amount of
it's getting to that time, mate. It's medication time.
Humiliation. Aye, due to the amount of humiliation they've had to take in
medication time.
Aye, but the amount of humiliation that they've had to endure over the last 10 years of watching us totally obliterate Scottish football. This is the same nonsense we hear every year. I go back to it, Clement came in. Oh, here we go, there making moves. He sounds as if he knows what he's doing. Then he started dancing, trying to demonstrate what John Suter was doing in the penalty box. And everybody just, what are you doing, mate? He's talked about the toenail was offside and things that he came away with. But we go back to the Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. He had all the answers. What happened there? Michael Beale, he was a brains behind Gerrard. He's a man. They even changed the menu to suit him. A food menu.
The Beale deal.
The £3 Beale deal. And everything they were calling it. I've heard all this before. And like Roger says, that's five Rangers managers he's encountered in his time. And every time they were coming. So's Christmas.
The only one thing I will say is, and listen, as much as I'm a Celtic fan, no matter if they're good players or no, he's getting backed. It's one thing I'll say about Martin. They obviously trust him to be the man for them. So as much as some guys might not rate some of their players, they're putting money towards them. They're backing them. By the way, the guys down the south are not coming here for £2,000 a week. They're coming here for 20 grand, 25 grand. They're coming here for good money. So they're getting backed. And I think eventually, by the looks of it, from the links, we'll be getting backed. And like I says, I agree with Barry's comment. That's what I also mentioned that, but Barry, sorry. And then I'll let you back in that, JP, because I don't think we spoke about it much. about a statement season for Rodgers. I think this will. I know he said last year was his most successful one as a manager in the league.
Yeah.
I think this could actually be the most competition he's had in terms of Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts. They're all getting money. Every other team's getting more money than us. So Aberdeen's buying a player for $1 million, Hibs buying $1 million, Rangers spending 5 million, 6, whatever. Hearts have got this infrastructure now with Tony Bloom. They've spent a bit of money. McKinney's come in. They've gave Shankly top dollar to stay. So if we do go what we did last year and win the league by 10, 12, whatever, I think it'll be even more in terms of success for Rodgers and us as well. Because this is where nobody can see we've got a challenge. Because Hearts are getting money. Aberdeen, they're getting back them across the water with a apparent big money takeover. They're getting 5 million and 2 million and 3 million in money. Hibs are backing players. So the other teams are getting money, by the way, not just about Celtic spending money. Some of the top 6 are spending money. So I think, don't you feel on this, JP, if we do, forget about the treble, right, just win the league. If we win the league, I think it'll be even more success for us because he'll say, well, I've had a massive challenge. He's obviously don't get a challenge. Now I've had a massive challenge and I've won the league. And I do believe I might be sometimes critical of spending money and not spending it wisely. I think if, like I says, mate, if we buy the best players we can with some of the guys we've linked and he gets what he wants, i.e. Nygren, Tierney, the guys like that, and they play to his system, mate, it'll only take a few weeks and it'll be the first few weeks of last season. Boom, 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 5, 4, 3, 4, 5. It'll be like that again. So if we get the right players, mate, I think it will be a statement season, like Barry says.
That's the thing as well, mate. I mean, Celtic fans are forgetting the players that are already in the team before we sign them now. It's about the development and how Rodgers makes people better. This is what I'm saying, mate, about there's players that probably signed 2 years ago that might start coming of age now. I mean, that's the reality. But all this serious panic about, they're doing this and we're not doing this and we're doing... Listen, mate, I'm 41 years of age now. I've heard it all my life. Honestly,
I've heard it
all my life, and it's the same roundabout we're on all the time, and I've heard it all my life, and it's never. I get it. It's never going to change because when we've only played 2 pre-season friendlies, we've signed 5 players already in my squad. I can't remember any other transfer windies we've actually done that so quickly. I think we're only maybe, 4, 5 weeks since the transfer window really opened.
Give or take, mate, aye.
All right, we've sold, well, it looks like we're selling Nicholas Kuhn, still to be confirmed. But, aye, as I say, that is what it is. And then the fans all panicking about whether this is going to be Rodgers' last season or no.
I've seen people say in terms of that, JP. Forget about his deal, or get the transfer window first, get that done first, and then once we get players in and we start the league, then we can talk about that. Because for me, the biggest thing on my mind right now is no him staying. It's what we're doing now into the season and playoff. That's more important.
Well, put it this way, he's here this season.
That's what I mean. So next year can wait, mate. Next year for me right now. Aye. Next year can wait now, mate. It's all about what we do now for the playoff. And I've got to mention something there. What was I going to say? See if we do our business properly. But the manager, if he gets the players that he wants, if we go and spend, I don't know, 25, 30 million, whatever it is, this war chest that we have got. Let's be fair, I'm not saying anything out of turn. We've got a war chest for Scottish football. We've got a lot of money behind the scenes and a lot of money there now through transfers and without even touching the budget, right, that Rodgers already had, right? See if we do due diligence properly and we do the scouting properly and we get like guys like Nygren, Tierney, etc., the guys that he wants who are quality players, we shouldn't be looking at anybody behind us, Rangers, Hearts, Aberdeen, Hibs. We should be just looking forward. We shouldn't be looking anywhere behind it. We should be always looking forward. Who cares what anybody else does in Scotland? Aye, it's good to see you. It's good to see what your opposition does. But it's about us.
Right. We've signed Kieran Tierney, right? Right, so see, just before even doing any other surgery to your squad, we've signed Kieran Tierney. There's no other club in Scotland signing a player of that calibre. None. I don't care who they are. Not one signing of any of our clubs made are anywhere near the standard of that lad. Not one. and we get him on a Bosman. He won a good wage, don't get me wrong. But that's where we are. Enough said. I don't need to say any more, mate.
No, listen, KT, mate, automatically, listen, Carter Vickers is a brilliant night, but in my opinion, KT automatically becomes Celtic's best player. In my opinion, McGregor's good, but mate, KT's a machine. He's an animal.
Wait till you see the difference, right? When you see Alistair Johnson right side, KT left side, Carter Vickers in the middle. Wait till you see the guidance from the leadership and everything you've got there. And then say, right, no other team in Scotland's got that, mate. Yep. And you can sign 20 players. It's not happening.
Sorry. It's all right. They've got a Hall of Famer.
They've got a Hall of Famer, aye. It was only recognised up until we got VAR for taking penalties.
Oh, Jesus.
And now they're trying to turn him into a centre-back, I've heard. He wasn't even a good right-back. You know what I mean? He wasn't even a good right-back. Now they want to turn him into a centre-back. That's a bit off.
Don't you wish your right-back was at Chaduri?
Aye. But it's the mentality that KT brings with him and all, and it's not just about the player. It's about the guy's ability to lead by example. And he's a winner. Fact. Nobody else is signing a guy that calibre.
See on that what you're saying, mate, you're bang on, because see the games at like Dundee and St Johnstone or the odd game against St Mirren that you don't, he'll not accept that. He'll not accept the, excuse my French, like the shite performances, the attitude. He'll be like, listen, every training session you need to win. See the rondels, you need to win. The five-a-side, you need to win. And that's what I'm saying about playing with Celtic. See when you go to St Mirren or St Johnstone or you go abroad to, like Arne Engels, right, there you go, right. I'll let you back in this, mate, and you can see what you think about this. Arne Engels gone for Augsburg, where if you draw against Bayern Munich, it's Club 1 night out that night. What a result. We went to the Allianz and got a draw. Brilliant. If they beat 4-0, it's as expected. It's all right. But Bayern Munich, it's Augsburg. But at training, I guarantee you it's no, they need to win the five-a-sides, they need to win the doggies, they need to win the rondels. See, Celtic, the guys like McGregor and guys like that, even Ralston, Barry Bay and Forrest and Taylor when he's here, the standard setters, that means that you need to win every game at training, every rondo, every drill, you need to win. That's the mentality.
Just look at the documentary. If you really want an insight as in what goes on in there, look at the documentary and look how people operate day to day. Look what you've got round about you. I've not seen anything on that, Sean. I'm not really too sure on that information, mate. But if he is, fair enough. I mean, Jude's probably looking to get himself a loan deal now, Ryan. Obviously, to go and get some games. He's probably Celtic are looking for a couple of wingers, mate. He's probably not going to get in the team this season, that's for sure. Looks a good player, looks a good talent, and obviously if he goes to Ayr, then best of luck to him.
Well, I think I did say to you, I actually said to my dad today about it, that I do think that Lenny and Bruni might, like Gaffer, well, ex-Gaffer and best mate Rodgers, that'll help here. Some youth players, I think Brown done it last year with Clark and Berry. Amy went to Dunfermline as well, and so did I think he signed actually full time. I think the guy signed full time. Otto, did he know sign full time? The midfielder.
You and Otto.
Did the
lad Josh Clark not play with one of them last season as well?
He went Ayr. He was number one at Ayr. Right. So he might go back out on loan. One of the two of them. So I'd imagine you might see one or two players going to that again. Listen, if you're Scott Brown or any manager that's played with Celtic, you would use a contact book. You would use Rodgers or whoever's the manager Celtic. Listen, any youth players for loan, anybody can help me, because I'd rather, here's one for you right before we end the show, mate. I would rather give Scott Brown or Lennon or Partick Thistle, or I'd rather they went out and went to that level and played every week, or came off the bench every week and playing competitive action against men. It's proper competitive action. It's fully experienced men at that level, championship level. Try to get promotion, try to put yourself out there, then go to the Lowland League against going in front of 10 people at the ground and you can't win the league. I'd rather that than that. I think that's where they'll develop more than they will playing in the Lowland League.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've always said it, that going and playing against civil service strollers or Broomhill or teams of that ilk, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying any of these teams are bad teams, but to then be asked due to an injury, and you need to come because we're playing Lazio at Celtic Park on Wednesday, we need you in the squad, and then he gets on due to something else happening during the game. It's a mammoth task and it's a mammoth ask also, you know. It's night and day in terms of ability and in terms of level that you've played at. Yeah, so like I says, it's not something that you can take lightly. That's the difference in level. The quality level is humongous, right? Humongous, absolutely humongous. But some of these lads do need to go and get themselves that game time to then come back, have a look at them again and go, right, okay, it's either not for you or it's for, you know, you're for a move or you're for everything else. But the last thing I want to touch on, Ryan, just before we end the show, mate, obviously Stephen Welsh, we see him tonight and bad error for the goal we concede. And I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to marshal an area that Ross Doohan dives away in front of him, and it doesn't look like he's communicated with the goalkeeper. By the way, as much as that, I did enjoy Doohan's bravery and his attempt at just having a go, you know, and try to put the boy off. But I don't know what Stephen Welsh is doing, man. I really don't. I don't know what he's doing, and then obviously he goes off for an injury. It looks like he's either injured his shoulder again, or because we do know that, has he dislocated it before?
I think he's done damage to it, mate. I'm sure.
I think he has. I think he has.
Was it under Angie, done it?
I think he did, Ryan. Yeah, I think did he no land with his arm away?
Was it no pre-season on it as well?
I think he did, Ryan. Aye, something's telling me it was during.
I might be wrong, but it's just ringing a bell that it might be.
Yeah, I do think. I do think that's the case. But I mean, we're talking about a lad here, Ryan, who, and no disrespect, I mean, he's certainly done a lot more than any of us. He's been through Celtic's academy and he's got to that level, Ryan. But he's no giving the team anything, mate. I mean, let's be honest, he's not contributing much to the team. He's and he's he's now at that point, mate. But I think he's one of those guys who's at the end of his terror.
Obviously, I hope he's fine. I hope he's no injured seriously, or I hope he's obviously, in terms of injury, first and foremost.
You're saying that because you want him sold, Amora.
Aye. Oh no, he's not going to get sold now. But I hope he's health-wise. I hope it's not a bad injury and he can get back to training and obviously get himself fit again. And for his development, try and get in the team if he can. But obviously, for me, I think he was 25, 26 now. I think he's time.
I think he'll be 26 this year, isn't he?
Aye, it's time to just say, look, Stephen, if somebody wants you, get away, mate. Be that on a loan deal or to get sold, because he's never going to play at Celtic longer term. He's not going to make us better. Like last year against Queen's Park, he made a similar mistake. Can't happen, JP. I don't care how unfit you are. You don't, no matter how unfit you are, your mind, brain, football doesn't leave you. I know guys I played 5 years ago with guys who are maybe 45, 50, even guys who are 60, kicking a ball about. You don't lose your football brain. Your legs might go, but you don't lose that up there. And to make silly mistakes in pre-season like that, JP, against, no offence to Cork, you're probably one of the worst teams you play all season, leading up to your season. And if you can't defend that and marshal that ball either out the park or hold him off, pretty concerning for me. So I think even if he was didn't get injured tonight, I think it would be his potential last game for Celtic. And Peaceful Warrior, hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for the comment. Just like your wee pal Billy, subscribe. It's free. Gives a wee tune out to all your Bully Boy pals. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, mate. We are the people.
He's no, listen, he's not talking about that at all. He's talking about Partick Thistle, the wee team in Glasgow.
That's it's a wee team.
That's the
The
team he's
Jags,
talking
innit? Fair enough. He's tuned in. They must like your show, mate. Fair enough. Fair play.
The Peaceful Warrior. I mean, the Peaceful Warrior, and then he puts WATP at the end of that. But we know the real meaning of that. We've established now what the real meaning of that. I mean, that was made up, obviously, by a section of that mob's fans. But we know what that really means. We are totally pish. We've now established, and we've only had to watch it over the last 10 years.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's right. They can't get that label now because they won the Harry Ramsden's Fish Supper Cup, didn't they?
Petrol Tank Cup is big. Something calls it.
Free bottle of Diet Iron Brew and a packet of spearmint chewing gum at the end, wasn't it? Aye. and a signing order with Nacho Novo at the end of the game.
Aye, but I say him off now to Oswald's for a Buffalo Buckland wing and stuff like that. So
they're in Oswald's for a spicy martini apparently.
Have you seen a McLeish mac and cheese? What do you like, man? What do you like?
I know.
Oh, hello, hula hoops.
hello, hula hoops, aye.
Brilliant.
Aye,
you don't get this back
man.
anywhere else on Tuesday, man.
No,
I'm telling you.
You can't.
McLeish mac and cheese. That's fucking brilliant, man.
McLeish mac and cheese. You get it with a side. You get it with a side of that salad dressers.
Salad dressers, aye. I give money garlic bread.
Aye.
Oh man, brilliant.
Aye.
Oh, there we go. We've got a new one now. We've got the Max Aaron's Mars bar. There's a new one for you.
Max Aaron's Mars bar, aye. Is that the deep fried one?
Go. It's a deep fried one, aye. There we go. There's a new one for you.
Aye. The chicken tikka sakala, is that still on the menu?
No, that's half now.
The only thing is, see if there's two yous at the table wanting the same meal in the chicken tikka sakala. Apparently there's a massive gap between the servings.
Oh, brilliant.
Tremendous. Aye.
Superb, man.
Aye.
Aye, but what the fuck's your boat on it?
The McBeal all day sing along.
The £3 bean deal.
Apparently he's combating Just Eat. Apparently he's called Beals on Meals.
I'm always there. I'm always there with your dinner,
Just
lads.
Eat. Aye, Just Eat. Aye.
Oh, brilliant, man.
Apparently in one of the apparently in the TV order food and they've got the Giovanni walkie-talkies in Oswald bar and on, so they can all
I mind them a wee. Aye, him and Ron Micaiah did.
Sorry, wee Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig.
That's what him and Ron Micaiah. That's what I'm missing. Ron Micaiah talk about the wee
They've
Peppa Pig
upgraded
anymore.
it to Bluey. They've upgraded it now to Bluey. Roger. Aye.
Who have we signed? John Suter? Oh no, man.
Aye.
They always give you a laugh, don't they, man? Brilliant.
Celtic fans are welcome on Sunday. Apparently they're allowed to go up and ask for a zombie.
That's a bit. Oh man. Brilliant.
Aye. Tremendous. But listen, it's just like that mob all the time. It's they can give you a good laugh. That's what they're. But WATP, man, we are totally pish. Next season it might be we are third place, who knows?
Who knows? It could be, aye.
But there we go. But aye, Good on you, lads. Cheers for boosting the views. Thanks to
Yep.
everybody that's joined us across the channels. Thanks to yourself, Ryan, for coming on and having a wee chat with us, mate.
Anytime, mate. Hopefully in the future we'll keep doing these after game lives if we can for you guys as well. But it is obviously just availability and things. Obviously myself and JP, sometimes Alan, we all go to games, so we can't always go live. But let's say we try and do our best to put content out. Myself and Aaron will be live just to put these out in the picture. Myself and Aaron will be live on Thursday in the morning and Thursday morning. So hopefully you can join us for that. It'll be maybe 11 o'clock usual time in the morning. Hopefully you can get us there.
Yeah, look forward to that. Obviously, I'll not see any of now to next Monday. That's me done for a week. 2 hard shifts back to back last night and the night. 2 good chats. And aye, we'll see you all later. But take care. Hail, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well.
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly. How about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson. And Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!